Welcome to the Super Breakdown Podcast, where cosmic tales unfold. Join Power Maximus, Lord Triage, and the Darth Legacy Jason M40 on a journey through heroic realms where legends are born and destinies entwine. Delve into the cosmic currents, unraveling the mysteries of superheroes, villains, and champions. Embrace the cosmic energy that binds us all, and let your journey begin. This is the Super Breakdown Podcast. Enter the cosmic saga.
What is up? What is up? What is up? We're back at it. Motherfucking again. This is going to be I can already tell this is going to be a fun episode. Because we are some fucking buffoons. Oh, we are some fucking buffoons sometimes, and I fucking love it.
We're all nerds.
All fucking nerds. Absolutely. All fucking nerds. And, well, you're a nerd. We're blurs, but it's okay. We don't like to make that distinction here. We're all family.
Age of the geek, baby.
What was that?
Age of the geek.
Age of the geek. Age of the fucking geek. Oh, man. This is going to be a fun episode. If you guys have not been paying attention, this is the motherfucking Super Breakdown. Where have you been? Where have you been? We've been doing this for what, 3 years? And you don't know? This is the motherfucking Super Breakdown, where we dive deep into your favorite characters within pop culture and comic book history. This month, we are continuing, actually, our movie monster march. We started off with Godzilla, right?
Godzilla.
Yeah, we started off with Gojira. We started off, and then right after Godzilla, we went to John Carpenter's The Thing. And now this week, we are back at it with the 1995 Species. It was like sci-fi horror cult classic. Man, listen. Y'all missing out. Y'all missing out. Y'all haven't been paying attention to us.
Facts.
Y'all haven't been paying attention, y'all.
If you have not seen the movie Species, I highly recommend you need to expand your knowledge and
expand your motherfucking knowledge. Like, yeah. Let's see. I watched it. It's free on Tubi right now. I rewatched it on Monday. It's free on Tubi. Go watch it. All three, well, 4 technically, are all free on Tubi. But yeah, if you guys haven't been paying attention to the Super Breakdown, I don't know what to tell you. We're on like fucking 90, like 94. But wait, hold on, 94. No, I think we're closing in on 100. I think we're closing in on 100 episodes. Let's see. 94, 95, 96. This is our 97th episode.
Wow.
We got 3 more episodes, and I'm pretty sure that makes the end of March. No, it looks like this. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see what today's what, the 16th? Yeah,
correct, sir.
Yeah. So that means, let's see, the 9th of April will be our 100th episode.
Oh boy.
April 9th makes 100 episodes. We don't know what we're doing. Pay attention. We're going to figure it out. All right. So, Species. Let's do just like a quick run through, quick breakdown of what the movie Species, the plot of the movie Species. So, movie came out 1995, right? The age of like the space era, everyone aliens. Aliens. Aliens was a big thing, in the 90s. It was a really big fucking thing in the 90s, right? And so the movie is based upon the idea of, I think they said it was like back in like the 70s or 60s one of the two back in the 70s or the 60s. The radar this really big radar station in real life. We actually have, it's in real life. Sent a radio frequency out into space, right, with a bunch of information, and apparently years later they actually got a response back.
Oh yes, this actually happened. I think that you're talking about the wow signal.
Yeah, there was that, the wow signal. Yeah, well, no, that wasn't what we got in return. That was just something that they picked up. But yeah, you are right, the wow. Yeah, yep, there was that. But within that, we ended up actually getting, apparently in the movie, the aliens, we had sent out like DNA coding for human DNA, and the aliens sent back, what they sent back was a DNA strand of their own.
Interesting.
In order for that to be spliced together with human DNA. So
hybrid.
As we discussed within the last 2 episodes, men and women in white coats are always and will always be the villains. They always decide to fuck with shit that they should not be fucking with.
They are not in your best interest.
There are certain things that man was not meant to tamper with.
Always. Always. Like, I swear to God, the white lab coats, they all have God complexes. So these motherfuckers decide that they are, yes, it's going to be a very explicit episode for me today. These motherfuckers decide that they want to start playing around and splicing this human DNA with this unknown alien DNA just to see what the fuck would happen. And apparently they end up growing a fucking human alien hybrid. Again, not knowing what type of fucking alien it is, what their natural instincts are or anything, and grew the shit. And then decided, you know what? I don't like it no more. I'm going to kill it. Decide to try to kill it. It breaks free. So the entire movie is based upon them trying to find this alien human hybrid, this new species of human, track her down and kill her before she can and reproduce.
Yeah.
Before she can get her son and have a baby.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole plot of the film. And then it goes through a whole fucking litany of problems and issues and setbacks and discoveries, and there ends up being so much that these motherfuckers have to go through. Now, how old were you guys when you were first introduced to Species?
Oh man. I think I was young. I think I was like mid-teens.
Really?
I think so, because I didn't see it like younger than that.
See, unfortunately, I did. I was actually quite a little bit younger.
Yeah, right, it probably screwed with you a little bit there, didn't it?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. So like what? It came out in 1995. I was like 1 year old when that came out. I ended up seeing it like, I'd have to say maybe like early 2000s. Yeah. Only because, and it's funny because I was just going through my storage and shit and actually found the original VHS tape of Species. Yep. It's still in the case too. Still in the little sleeve.
That's crazy.
Right? So this movie actually, like, I don't know, it's like a star-studded 90s, like mad people that were popping in the 90s were in this movie. right? So we got Ben Kingsley, which I mean, I guess he's still popular today. Michael Madsen, who not too much anymore. Forrest Whitaker, who, of course, we already know is doing his damn thing, and Alfred Molina, Molina, right? Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we also have Marge Helgenberg, and not a lot of people remember her, but what's she in CSI? I think another big thing that she did was CSI.
Oh yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, CSI Las Vegas and the crime scene investigators, but then she also had like a bunch of other shit, and she was really popping in the 90s. But yeah, I think she's still on CSI Las Vegas, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so again, a lot of big names, a lot of big damn names. The main character, well, I'll call her the main character because we follow her, which is interesting, right? This is I don't want to know what you guys thinking about this. This film actually is in the point of view a lot of the majority of the time of the alien.
Yes, it is.
And I actually thoroughly enjoy that. What do you guys feel about that?
I did too.
It's a different view that makes you think of things like why they're happening, like the reasons for like why these things are happening to me, like as the alien.
Yeah, big time. Because like she's kind of like she doesn't even know what she is.
Yeah, and as you're watching it, you gather what's happening and what's going on, and you realize like they're just studying me and I just want to fuck.
Those are two very different things.
If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but even then, just to put it that way, like yeah, those are two very different things. It was like, but you know what? Yeah, I'll touch on that in a second. Yeah, but what about you? What about you, Tank? What was your takeaway from it?
So my thing with what it was is that it gave a very interesting aspect of cat and mouse,
Mm-hmm.
and it showed sort of like the dynamic between like with Death Note, like with L and Light, and how you have the predator versus the prey, and how technically she is a predator herself, and she's also being hunted like a predator, like a predator is hunting her because the team that was after her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things like they all acknowledge that she is dangerous and how she's going to react in said environment if she's cornered, and yet they have no choice but to chase her.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely. Now, and this is something that I also realized as I was watching, like, and that was actually kind of different from a lot of the other movies that we see. Like, they truly didn't know what the fuck they were dealing with. Like, and like 100% did not understand what the fuck they were dealing with at all.
You're talking about like
the scientist
yeah,
in the team.
Okay.
So like
yeah.
the scientist in himself, played by Ben Kingsley, he didn't understand. He had no clue. So when he assembled his team, he assembled Michael Madsen, Forrest Whitaker, Alfred Molina, and Marge Helgenberg. Right? He assembles them to come together, but they're all from a bunch of different fields. Like Michael Madsen's character is like a government bounty hunter. Forrest Whitaker's character is like a fucking empath. He's like psychic. Alfred Molina's character, he's He's a scientist. I forget what he was a scientist of. And then Marge's character, she was also a scientist. So I just find it like he really didn't know what he was dealing with. So he's like, let me get people from multiple different backgrounds and have them like come together and see if we can all figure this shit out.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. So I just feel like that really shows that he truly didn't know what he was dealing with. So he literally just pulled this team together of all these different backgrounds to try to figure shit out. So I also find that pretty cool too. It's different because normally it's like the scientists, they know what they're dealing with. You know, it just this idea or concept that the scientist or the creator of the creature knows everything, and so he knows how to kill it. This is that, blah blah blah. But literally, this film, nobody knows a damn thing. We find everything out as the film progresses. Not even the main character, not even the creature knows what the hell she is.
Which is actually a pretty interesting concept because the point of view is, you know, from the alien. We don't know really what's going on, like, until the movie progresses further. And you find out more and more, like, what's happening and why things are happening.
Well,
go ahead.
I took it as a nature versus nurture type thing because you have two primal instincts at war inside your head, from the human DNA to the alien DNA, and it's like which one was stronger. And to find out,
yeah, that's interesting.
Come to find out, it was the alien DNA. But the whole thing was, and like you see it in the movie where he was like, "Yo, we have no idea what we're really dealing with. Maybe we should try to recreate the experiment, and we should see what the alien DNA looks like without the camouflage." And then you have the incident where they tried to do the shit in the lab, and they have a whole shit show.
Yeah, it ends up like the shit grows within like seconds and becomes a whole living fucking organism within less than a minute. And what was interesting, they still didn't get any kind of information from that. They didn't get any relevant DNA information on like what this thing is, how to kill it. That situation happens, and then shit all goes left real fucking quick. And they're like, only information got out of it was, oh, this shit here to kill.
And that fire would kill it.
Yeah. But again, fire, as we're seeing, fire fucking kills everything, damn near. Because last week when we were talking about the Thing, fire killed that too.
Fire's bad.
And I find that interesting. But yeah, like nobody knows anything in this film. They all find it out on hand, and they're all blind. They get blindsided on a regular basis throughout the whole film. Like,
and if you think about it, like in reality, like in the real world, that would actually happen because you wouldn't have any idea what's going on. Like,
yeah, and that's what I liked about it. It was so realistic.
Yeah,
it was very realistic, and in a lot of their reactions to, to the situation, Ben Kingsley's character, he's freaking the fuck out. He's like, "Hey, listen, man, I just let a government experiment get the fuck out. I got to do whatever the fuck I can to get it back in, or it's my ass and a bunch of lives." And then they're all like, they're all like, the rest of the team are like, "The fuck are we dealing with here?" But if we don't, somebody's gonna die. So we got to figure out how to do it. And then, another big part of this film that I wanted to touch on was the fact that in the beginning, I don't know if you guys remember this part, but Marge's character, Baker, Dr. Baker, she asked, why does she look like a little girl? This nigga Ben Kingsley's character, Dr. Fitch, says, we thought that we should splice the DNA with human female DNA because she'll be more docile and more like calm and docile.
Yeah, and then Press was like, clearly you guys don't date much.
Bro, and it was funny because everyone else in that room, they all kind of like looked at each other like,
That's funny.
You sure about that? Which, like, it speaks to like a larger tone of the film, which I'm not sure if they were the creators were trying to go for.
I mean, I kind of like understand the concept of like why they would make that decision. Like maybe a male versus female species, like as humans, we recognize the male species may be physically stronger than the female species. So maybe.
But here's the thing that a lot of times people forget. Yeah, as males we may be stronger, but 9 times out of 10, the females are smarter.
Correct. And
you know what I'm saying?
And intelligence is a little bit more important than just brute strength.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
debatable.
What was that?
I said that's debatable.
It is. It definitely is debatable, but you know, they go hand in hand. They really go hand in hand. To be perfect, you got to be both smart and strong. But at the same time, like they're splitting with I feel like the larger tone that, again, I don't know if they were trying to go for, is that, you know, this is a very female positive film. If you really look at it, because so you got to think about it. So essentially, this species, this whole film, she's essentially going through puberty at a rapid pace. She's growing and going through life at a rapid pace.
Yes.
Right. And then it's like, you know, he makes that statement that, oh, she'd be more docile. They're like, yeah, fucking right. You stupid. And then look at the havoc that she wreaks going forward. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
No problem. Like the havoc that she wreaks going forward. And it's like, no, but what they tend to forget is that, you know, that kind of that mama bear mentality, you know what I mean? That, you know, that when or even that animalistic mentality in general, because the species' whole thing is she's looking to reproduce.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like as soon as kind of like as soon as like she does get pregnant, like she's even more vicious. But even then, honestly, and again, this is no shade to any females whatsoever, no shade, but women can be pretty damn vicious.
That's a fact.
Hey, listen, I said I don't want to offend anyone because someone would be like, "Oh my god, no, I ain't."
You don't want to offend. You don't want to offend. I'll gladly offend. Fuck that.
Vicious, and even then, just looking at, like, if you look at how, you know, young ladies are even like growing up throughout school, like the gossip, the body shame, you know, like how, like, you know, vicious they can be towards each other growing up. And you know, because I've seen, you know, we've all seen it in some way, shape, or form, you know. And then we see it on this larger scale within this film, when she's going through the club, when she's looking for a mate, she sees the chick ends up scooping up the dude that she was trying to get. She rips the bitch's back out.
Jesus.
And they're like, I don't know. I wonder why. Why did she kill him? Like, we understand why she killed the fucking ticket lady on the train, because we can clearly see it was like an accident. It wasn't like something that she was trying to do. It was like an instinct thing. But why she killed this bitch? And they're like, clearly it looks like this chick, you know, it was what was it? Sexual competition. She took out her competition.
Yeah.
She saw that this chick was better at getting dudes than she was, so she took her out. So now she's the best at it. You see what I'm saying?
It's like basic animalistic instinct on a sexual level, and it's quite literally she acts how like an animal would act, like in the wild.
Absolutely. And man, there was so many kind of like little microcosms throughout this movie that kind of like speak to the overall thing, overall concept. Like, any species, the number one goal for any species, any living species, is to grow, is to thrive, is to reproduce, is to keep on going.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Now
pass their genes on to the next generation.
Yeah. So now it becomes a situation of how. You know what I mean? How does it happen? How do they do what they do? And how do they pass on these genes? I don't know. That and that's what this movie really dives into. And or even then, the lengths that a creature will go in order to reproduce and to stay alive.
Yeah, really.
And then what happened when they backed her into a corner? She got smart. She realized, they're not going to stop hunting me until I'm dead. So let them think that I'm dead. And she kidnaps a chick, takes her car, cuts her own thumb off, cuts the other chick's thumb off, and then makes this whole elaborate plan to lead them on a wild goose chase and like pretend to die in a car fire and leave her thumb behind, so people can be like, oh, okay, I see. So all right, she died. Boom, big fire explosion. Like, she went out, got a bunch of canisters of gasoline, poured it all over in the car, and left the tanks in the car, and drove into a fucking like a little mini power station.
Genius idea.
Genius. All just to get them off of her trail, so she can get what she wanted and what she needed.
Yeah.
I don't know. So like, what are you so Triage, what was your first thoughts when seeing this film? Like when you first, well, hold on, how old were you when you saw this film?
Probably like 9 or 10.
Interestingly, because I think that's probably around where I was when I first seen it. Because you saw it when it came out, pretty much.
A few years after that. You said it was 95, so I'd have been 6. So
Yeah. So, what was your first thoughts seeing this?
I thought it was different. I thought it gave a very unique aspect to the sci-fi genre. And I thought the fact that the way they handled it, the way they did was original, but it was also, in hindsight, to me, a little goofy.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Now, I think that might just be like, time perspective. I know it's all 2020, but it's like, I think like with the ragtag team that they put together to hunt her down, it had been a little bit more extreme.
Absolutely. I kind of feel like no, go ahead, continue. Sorry.
Nah, like especially considering they had no clue what they were dealing with, and like the whole thing with Michael Madsen's supposed to be like the grunt of the team who's supposed to hunt her down and kill her if necessary, and then he's the only one. So like here's the thought. So what if she had actually killed Michael Madsen first?
I was thinking about that the whole film. Like you ain't got no other firepower, and it's all this thing. All he has is a fucking pistol.
Yeah. It's
All he had was a
interesting.
pistol.
It's interesting, like now or back then, trying to, we thought of aliens back then, and we give these like human characteristics and human traits to how we would think an alien would act, like on a reproductive scale. And now we know, like in the 21st century, we know that now the aliens may not even be characterized like in a carbon form or like be life as we know it.
That's a good point. Even then, actually, that's a good thing to bring up. Like our whole, like nowadays, our whole ideology,
paradigm, yeah,
like of aliens has changed, because now there's whole theories that aliens are actually time travelers. Like they're actually human beings that are like have evolved so far that we're going back in time to fix it. There's that whole theory. But
wait, what?
yeah, there's a whole theory that fucking aliens, UFOs and shit that we see are actually humans from the like distant future.
You want to hear something I heard? I heard that all these UFOs that people are seeing are actually, it's actually like part of a breakaway civilization that has been alive for like thousands of years.
What do you mean by breakaway civilization?
As
What do you
in
mean?
like thousands of years ago, humanity, part of humanity, like separated from the rest of humanity. And
And now they coming back just to see what's up with us,
yeah,
see if we,
yeah,
okay, all right, yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
that's what I heard. But
Yeah,
I mean, we have no idea,
we have no
honestly.
idea. And so, all right, so as a producer on my side, I wanted to talk about the production level of this film. Right? I wanted to talk about the production level of this film. So, this film's budget was like I read it was like 35 million dollars US, like between 30 to 35.
Decent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
it's not
for
terrible.
1995, that's a real decent budget. I wasn't able to find out how much it grossed, like what it brought in. But like what it did at the box office. But I don't know, never mind. I lied. I was able to find it. So worldwide, right? So holy shit, that's crazy. So its budget was $35 million, right? The US and Canada, it doubled that, damn near doubled that. It brought in about $60 million, right?
That's cool.
Worldwide, it did $113.37 million
That's cool.
worldwide off of a $35 million budget.
Pretty good for some dressed up humans as aliens.
But even then, like there was, and that's the other part I want to talk about. There was no like dressed up humans as aliens. It was CG, and that's another part I want to talk about. Like the graphics. Like, hold up, let's take a break. Let's hear from our podcast friends. They're doing some awesome things within the podcast world. Let's hear from them real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll get into talking about the graphics on this one, because this is pretty good.
Gonna everybody, Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics here, and we'd like to introduce you guys to our show, The Indie Breakdown, a show where we break down your favorite indie comic book characters' power, stats, and abilities, and get them ready for an eventual indie versus matchup. All Indie Breakdown episodes go live first on Spotify and on Patreon, with them eventually showing up on YouTube. So if you guys want to check out The Indie Breakdown and learn more from your favorite indie comic book creators, now's the time to do so. We hope you guys decide to tune in, and remember, until next time, midnight is coming.
Hi, I go by Lady Mandalore, the creator of Roomful of Blurs. Do you have a whiteboard in your room? Do people get a glazed over look in their eye when you start to explain things to them? Well, come join me every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we can talk comics and get to know some new creators of color, only on YouTube and Twitch.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Calvin, from the Icarus Podcast, and I just want to say that we got new episodes coming next Saturday and every Saturday after that. So all I would have to say from here is keep enjoying the show. You can check us out, www.icarusmetrocomics.com. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and more. See y'all next time.
Join the Pulse. We're excited to announce the launch of Heartline Comics' newest line, the Barcode Collection. Our fresh drop just hit the internet and is turning heads. Imagine this. You're rocking our merch, and friends can scan the barcodes to instantly connect with the Heartline Comics website. It's a game changer. Stay ahead of the curve and never miss a beat. Subscribe to our website for exclusive alerts on the latest merch drops and the newest comics hitting the shelves. Be part of the Heartline community and show off your style with pride. Trust us, you don't want to miss this.
All right, and we are back. So yeah, I really wanted to touch on like the whole CG of it all, because that's something that we've been talking about a lot lately with, you know, Godzilla, The Thing, and now this. And a big part of these films are the graphics. Now, how going back and thinking about it, and we're watching it, those graphics kind of sucked, but were also revolutionary for the time.
This is true.
I think it's one of those things where it all depends on who's on the film and who does the production and who does what, because, you know, things are always going to evolve, they're going to change, and they're going to become better. So that's a given, whether or not it stands the test of time. I mean, go back and watch the original Terminator.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
I haven't done it in a while.
it depends. So it's like some movies, like the Never-Ending Story. Some movies with their practical effects, Aliens, stands the test of time. Sometimes the CGI is what usually doesn't hold up.
Yeah, that's very true. And I would definitely say, yeah, the CGI on this one definitely didn't hold up. But the creature design, I can definitely say the creature design was fantastic, though. So the creature design was done by none other than H.R. Geiger. Now, Geiger is a world famous artist. Hans Ridui Geiger. Pretty much, he's a Swiss surrealist painter, sculptor, set designer. He does like album covers and shit like that. So he was known for like a lot of biomechanical art, which is really what we get from Species. Is like when you look at the the design, like they look like the species, the creature looks like she's made of metal.
Yeah,
but it's like it's all organic. It's all like bio or organic and stuff, right? Which I always found really interesting, because that's also another thing that we think that I feel like was a concept back in the day when it came to aliens. We all thought like oh, they were gonna be like some kind of like biomechanical creature or whatever, and so what?
When in reality, we have absolutely no idea.
None whatsoever. But I kind of want to show some of this guy's work. I kind of want to show some of his work.
It really is interesting because, like, before this film, we've never really seen anything portrayed looking like this.
Absolutely. So, like, stuff like this. Like, look at this. This is sick in a good way to me. But it literally is reminiscent of, the work. Look, no one would notice, but look, there's like little spray cans in there next to the faces and skulls and stuff. It's like in this. Let's see, with this one. Why doesn't this thing like blow these photos up anymore? Doesn't blow these photos up. Like, look at this. This is a whole ass xenomorph right here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Is there more? Yes. Yep. The xenomorph. Very. I don't know what the hell that is. That's crazy. We're gonna get that out of there. But yeah, stuff like this. This is the work that he does. That's like
cool.
And so I always found that was like a really awesome ass looking like aesthetic that they gave, and then she would get these flashes of like her and a male creature, which is really interesting. We only see one male creature of her kind, and that's at the end where she ends up having a child, but they flambe his ass real fast. Yeah, they flambéed him.
Are they making a steak?
Okay, and now here's the thing: we can definitely touch on like the level of sexuality in this, and then also like the level of nudity in this too was like,
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, like you can't make that kind of movie and it be like openly, publicly, like everyone is able to go watch it and shit like that. You just can't do that. But also for those of you watching as well, I decided, since we're talking about aliens and aliens being sexualized in some kind of way, we're gonna run Mass Effect at the same time. Since Mass Effect is known for that. But now, what is one part of this film that for you guys really stood out above the rest? What about you, Triage?
The part that stood out above the rest to me, hands down, would have to be the uniqueness of the kills.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would agree with that.
How so?
So, because like when you see like how you mentioned the xenomorphs earlier, and how the xenomorphs usually kill you in one of two ways. They usually kill you with the tail, or they usually kill you with the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you saw that Syl in the original movie killed multiple different ways, and she could also kill using stealth.
Yep. Like with the chick in the bathroom, she literally went to the male's room, found the stall that correlated with one that she was in, and just put her hand through the wall.
Yeah, ripped her spine out.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the one dude who I took her home, and he had every intention of trying to sleep with her, and she decided she snubbed him, and he got mad, and she punched her tongue through the back of his skull.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That scene was crazy. Like that whole scene was crazy. Like I had completely forgot about that scene until it came up, and I'm like, oh goddamn. But you're absolutely right. Like that's like so many different ways like that she did what she needed to do. And I feel like that speaks to the human side of her as well. That creativeness, that how can I most effectively get the result that I'm looking for? Yeah, that's what I think.
Well, I also think one thing is like we also go like with the whole human thing. So it's like, we don't necessarily know what the actual alien species DNA was based off or what it was most correlated to. What I mean by that is that they say that there's the whole theory that we evolved from the Neanderthal and how we were certainly related to monkeys and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what other animal the DNA of the species could be correlated to that's similar to that. For example, like if you look at lions, like the female lion does the hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
same thing with penguins.
Right? So the female lion is the hunter, which means that she is the killer.
Mm-hmm.
So in that aspect, the female lion might be a better predator than the male.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that a bear will have a cub and care for its cub all through winter, but if the winter is harsh, that bear will eat its own cub to survive because it can always have another cub.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And let alone like the fact we all know if you see a bear in the woods, that's one thing. If you see a bear with cubs in the woods, you run.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, even then, if you see a bear cub alone in the woods, leave it the fucking alone. Go the complete other fucking way. And
you better start looking around.
Look around. I ain't looking for shit. I'm running. I'm getting my ass out of there the quickest possible way. I'm leaving that shit alone. You see me fighting in the woods with a bear? Nigga, fuck the bear. Help me. Help me. That's how I feel about that shit. Help me. The bear will be fine. The bear will be absolutely 100% fine. I need assistance. Now, I found that part interesting as well. The thing that stood out the most for me was, like I said, just the fact that she made that whole plan. She made that whole plan and was able to like execute it, and it actually worked. But my question is, what was her downfall?
That's a good question.
Because like the plan succeeded. Most of them thought she was dead. I mean, like, except for Preston, because he's like his hunter mentality was he's like, something don't feel right. And the same thing with Forrest Whitaker's character. He's like, something don't feel right. Right? So why did she go back? Is my question.
Maybe the human part of her made her.
That was actually another thing that I was thinking about as well, was like maybe that was kind of supposed to be like, the human side of her. She wanted Preston. That's the one that she wanted. But then she realized that she lost when she went up to the room and heard him and homegirl getting it in.
Yeah.
And she was like, all right, yeah, no, this is a dub. I need to find somebody else. And so she ends up finding Doc Ock and ended up wrecking him. That was wild. And the thing, all Forrest Whitaker's character needed to do was open that door. All he needed to do was open the door. And Holmes would have still been alive.
all right, you say that. He'd have opened that door and she'd have bit his dick off.
I mean, but that was the thing, because if you look at
So
what
hold on,
happened last.
no. I got it. So you're
Go.
you're mid stroke. You're doing your thing, right? And I kicked the door in with every intention of saving your life. and for whatever reason, that female decides to tear your throat out. You're not gonna be like good looking. You're not gonna be like my nigga. You're gonna be like, you couldn't fucking wait.
Well, I mean, at least like from what we've seen from the character, when she's interrupted, she flees. Right? She would have been interrupted, and she would have tried to flee.
Yes, and every guy that she was interrupted with, she killed.
That's true.
Don't forget the dude in the hot tub.
Dude in the hot tub. Yeah.
That sucker for love ass nigga. Seen her get hit by a car, fucking goes back to his car, calls from his cell phone, takes his bitch to the hospital, then puts her fucking medical bills on his credit card.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. That was some stupid shit. I mean, I would have did most of that. Oh, damn, you good? My bad, shorty. Oh, that's crazy. Come here, let's get it to the hospital. It would have been like, so it looks like she doesn't have any health insurance. Well, damn. That sucks. All right, well, I'll let her know I'll be in the waiting room.
Right. And you got to figure that was 90. That was 95. That was the 90s. So that shit was probably like maybe $300-400, maybe $5 at the most. You figure nowadays that's just gonna be like $3,000.
30 grand. What the fuck you mean? Like 30-40 grand? They niggas is charging you for band-aids. They're charging you $200 for a band-aid, bro. And that's no exaggeration. That is literally no exaggeration.
Yeah, the United States healthcare system is the best in the world, but it's 3 times more expensive.
Yeah,
Crazy.
absolutely. 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 Oh man. But like God. Somebody said, "Oh, Americans eat like they have free healthcare." Yeah. I rather I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Homeboy was out of his damn mind with that shit. Oh yeah, just put him out. What do you think? What do you think was gonna happen? What if she was a floozy?
Floozy?
You're showing your age with that one.
Nah, whoa, not me. I was literally just about to give a shout out to my uncle Flip Uno and my uncle DJ. And I was that's their word. That's their age. That's them. They in their 40s. Not me. But nah, what if she was? What if she was a hoe? What if she was? What if she did that on a regular basis? What if she pretended to get hit by a car on a regular basis?
What kind of life is that?
What if that was her thing? That's how she.
Nigga, that sounds crazy. That's how she picks up men. She gets hit by a car.
Gets her to pay for her medical bills. She get a free place to stay at night. A hot meal at night and in the morning.
She couldn't just start a fight and wind up in the county. Nigga, that sounds insane.
No, because she knows she's gonna get a good guy if he, and who got money if he paying for her medical bills.
Oh my God.
Sure. We'll just say that's what she wants.
I'm like, especially like, listen, she could have been real down bad. She could have been. She hadn't had none in mad long. So she like, I can't. Every time I try to get some, shit goes crazy. Desperate times, desperate measures.
That's insane.
Like a
That-
good
that's-
neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is
Just put him in a
not
coffin.
American Pie.
Just jumps in front of a car.
Another movie that couldn't be made in modern day.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But let's take 1 second. We're gonna switch up real quick. Let's hear from our friends one more time, and then we're gonna get back and we're gonna run the show straight through.
Going on, everybody? Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics here, and we'd like to introduce you guys to our show, the Indie Breakdown, a show where we break down your favorite indie comic book characters' power, stats, and abilities, and get them ready for an eventual indie versus matchup. All Indie Breakdown episodes go live first on Spotify and on Patreon, with them eventually showing up on YouTube. So if you guys want to check out the Indie Breakdown and learn more from your favorite indie comic book creators, now's the time to do so. We hope you guys decide to tune in, and remember, until next time, midnight is coming.
Hi, I go by Lady Mandalore, the creator of Roomful of Blurs. Do you have a whiteboard in your room? Do people get a glazed over look in their eye when you start to explain things to them? Well, come join me every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we can talk comics and get to know some new creators of color, only on YouTube and Twitch.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Calvin, from the Icarus Podcast, and I just want to say that we got new episodes coming next Saturday and every Saturday after that. So all I will have to say from here is keep enjoying the show. You can check us out, www.icarusmetrocomics.com. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and more. See y'all next time.
Join the Pulse. We're excited to announce the launch of Heartline Comics' newest line, the Barcode Collection. Our fresh drop just hit the internet and is turning heads. Imagine this: you're rocking our merch, and friends can scan the barcodes to instantly connect with the Heartline Comics website. It's a game changer. Stay ahead of the curve and never miss a beat. Subscribe to our website for exclusive alerts on the latest merch drops and the newest comics hitting the shelves. Be part of the Heartline community and show off your style with pride. Trust us, you don't want to miss this.
All right, and we are back. Okay, so this film was different. It was unique. Now, there were sequels. There was a 3, there was a 2, a 3, and then it was like Reawakening. I think Reawakening was like sci-fi, like the Sci-Fi Channel level of film. I still think could have been a floozy. You know what I mean? But anyways, sorry. Just want to touch back on that.
Yo.
I'm not getting over that. Like, this man, I'm sorry. Run it back. Hold on. This man really did pay for her and then brought her home, gave her breakfast, and then he really thought he had a Hollywood love story.
Listen, he was offering dick.
At least the other dude that had what was it? He had diabetes. The asshole dude that she stuck her tongue through the back of his head. At least he was straightforward. He was like, "Hey, yo, you know what's up? You called me here. You asked me to come out here. You know what I'm saying? I was in the club chilling, doing my damn thing. You asked me to get up out of here." So he like, and it's the fucking fact of the tongue through the fucking back of the head is crazy. Tongue through the back of the head is crazy. But
it's pretty crazy.
But then we got Doc Ock. Like, all right, man, this movie also is a cautionary tale. There's quite a few cautionary tales throughout this. The whole film is a cautionary tale to many different people.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole
overall, like
film's
the
a
overall thing
cautionary
is
tale.
don't fuck with shit that you shouldn't be fucking with, right? Don't fuck with shit that it's not. Don't fuck with aliens, right? Don't trust people in lab coats. Um, and then like to the women out there, you are strong, you are powerful. Take power, own your shit, right? And then like to the guys, like bro, they all died because they were thinking with their dick first.
Men.
Men.
Apparently that's what we do.
But I mean, sometimes for some of us it's a struggle, especially when we're young. It's a struggle. Cautionary tale to men: don't think with your dick.
What you want to know what the funny part is that you say that, but then watch the sequel.
Yeah, that's
You
very
know,
true.
Mr. Ross came back from space, and every woman who saw him, oh, he's on the weed box. I'm gonna give him some pussy.
So yeah, thank you for bringing up the sequels. So I never watched them. Triage, give me a rundown. Like, what is number 2 about? Because I was supposed to watch it, I didn't get a chance to. So what is
Number 2 is
about?
crazy.
So
I'm hearing.
So in the sequel, it was supposed to be that Mars that they funded an expedition to Mars, and how you had three I almost said three scientists, 3 astronauts who went up there, and while they were up there, they lost contact with NASA. They wind up coming back. They're celebrated as heroes. They've done all that. They this big groundbreaking moment in history, and how they get told they're on a quarantine for the next X amount of hours. They're not supposed to engage in any activities, anything sexual, stuff like that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, some of the astronauts are infected.
Yes.
That there was a scientist who found out that he believed that Mars had once sustained life just like our planet did. Mm-hmm. And how they had come in contact with an alien species, which believe wiped them out.
Oh,
so his whole thing is that species still could be dormant within the planet itself.
Uh-huh.
So when they collected samples from the rock, the species was still inside of it, and then infected them when it was on the ship.
Yeah.
Interesting. So this is a completely different species than what we're seeing in the first film.
No.
So it was never specifically stated, but that is that's what I would have took from it. Because what were the chances that the exact same species that they communicated in the first movie wound up visiting Mars? But it's also one of those things where it might make sense, because if the astronauts who sent, excuse me, not the astronauts, if the scientists who sent the information in the original movie sent it from our location, along with math, certain things like history, the genetic code for humans, stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that alien race was so much more advanced than us, they might have realized that the location of the planet that the information that they came from was right next to a planet that they had already been to. Because you remember, Mars is right next to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're the 3rd planet from the sun, so Mars is the 4th. Yeah. So, look at this. We're getting information from so and so. Weren't we just at this planet next door like 6 million years ago? Let's send some information to them and see how it goes over.
No, so that would be pretty interesting if all right, so crazy. I'm just thinking about this. It would be crazy if like the whole point of the alien species, like I said. So remember, they sent the DNA strand back to Earth, right? To put with human DNA, right? What if they evolved to the point where, like, all right, so like on Mars, they were there like billions of years ago. Maybe at that time, the species was just that form of parasite, right? That's infectious. It evolved over time. So now they're like, all right, well, we still need but they still have the same goal. Same goal is to colonize, to keep going, to keep being like repopulated and shit, right?
Okay.
So they're like, oh, look, we got information from this planet, and it's right next to where we used to be. That's cool. So instead of doing it how we used to do, where we just would find a planet and then we would just, infect them, why don't we send them our DNA and have them infect themselves?
Right. Or it'd have been cool if Syl was like a sleeper agent.
Oh, she was sent to scope out.
Like she could have been like an agent, like the way the Blue Beetle was for the Reach.
Mm-hmm.
And like that might have been one of the reasons why she was so heavily driven to procreate the way she was.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
And then like if you watch the sequel, like you thought Syl's urge was bad, because in the sequel it's a male who's infected.
Oh
yeah.
And because he's a local celebrity now, like I said, he's on the front of Wheatie boxes. Like they nailed it. They hailed him as a national hero. So he's literally got women throwing themselves at him, and every woman he sleeps with winds up impregnated by him.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they literally give birth right after they've been infected.
Oh, so like alien style, like timeline, like quick, fast, in a hurry type birth.
Yeah, and then I think halfway through the movie, maybe he had more than 24 kids.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Wow. Wait, that's okay. So where does this continue? That's like what do you do about that? Like were people trying to stop him, or was that the whole point of it was literally just like a softcore man running around doing the thing?
No, I think because wasn't the hybrid female in the humans possession, and they wanted her to like help stop him?
Yes. So what happened was every time.
Oh, hold on, you cut out there, bud.
There we go.
Yeah.
So every time Patrick would be involved in, let's say, recreational activities, it gets revealed that they cloned Syl.
Yeah, they did say that there were in the first movie. They did say there was 3 specimens, and they only allowed one to grow, and they took the other one out to do the experiment with.
Yes. So yeah, it's revealed that Syl was cloned. So and they had her clone was called Eve, and how
that's right.
The female who was a member of the team from the original movie, I'm forgetting the actress's name at the moment.
What which one? That was the doctor, the female doctor?
Yes.
Marge Hellenberg.
Yeah, so she's overseeing her experiment with Eve now.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it is kind of like a direct kind of.
No, it's a direct sequel. Yes. So, and it's the same actresses and actors who are all back from the original movie who survived. The only person who didn't come back was Forrest Whitaker.
All right, so I'm gonna watch it. Just because you said the main actress came back.
It's good. It's it's a good movie. The second one was pretty good.
So yeah, so every time Patrick is engaged in activities, Eve feels it and senses it.
Yeah,
I think I have seen this. I think I have seen number 2. Because that sounds very familiar.
So they were like how the whole thing was is that they studied her captivity. She's never around any males, and then all of a sudden she goes into heat, and they were like, "What the hell's the matter with her?" And then
yeah, and she literally breaks through the freaking glass.
Again, she don't like glass. Her and glass are not friends. So she goes into heat like on her own.
that's when they realized, like, yo, there's another alien running around. So who do they go and get but Preston Lennox? Like, yo, Press, like, we got another situation. We need you to come handle this. And Michael Madsen's like, man, fuck this. If the government was dumb enough to do this shit again, I don't want no part of it.
Wow.
Well, I don't listen. Would you blame?
Not at all. Not at all.
I'd have told them niggas shove it too. But they were like, look, bro, we need help. It's a shit show. You've done this before. We trust you to do it again. Like, come on, dog. We need you. We need you. So he's like, all right. He shows up. He sees that. He takes one look at Eve and he's like, I can't believe these motherfuckers. Like the look on his face when he first sees her is just priceless because he's like, bitch, didn't I kill you?
Yeah, he hit her in the face with like I don't even know what it was. It was like a grenade launcher, but not. Like,
Sure, I think that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I don't know, but like that. First off, he hit her in the face with a grenade launcher at point blank range. What did he say? Get off my planet or some shit like that. It was like some witty little thing.
Yeah,
like,
some saying.
Yeah, get off my planet. Bomb. You know, back in the day, the action hero always had to have like a kind of witty, kind of like, final word before he dispatches the villain. Not today, sunshine. Some shit like that. So this film, all right. So from what y'all telling me, this shit was actually good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Because
it's back in
the day, like the sequels is really never went over well back in the day. Like they just ended up not ever being good. Like there's like a handful of sequels that end up being good, like unless they were like a really big franchise that had like really big main actor, like it wasn't gonna be that good. Like, clearly Terminator, but after like what 3 Terminator got funky.
Well, my opinion with that is that I don't like the fact that it wasn't. To me, the third Terminator wasn't written well.
Mm-hmm.
Like them showing the rise of the machines made sense, but it was like it wasn't dark enough for the tone of what was supposed to happen. Like if you watch that original Terminator, and I don't mean just like the lighting of the movie or like the characters itself. I mean just like the way it was just done. Like that, just like that whole scene, like where Kyle Reese is sitting in the car and he talks to her and he's like, yo, this shit's no fucking joke. I'm not insane. Listen to what I'm telling you. This fucker is out there. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't know fear or pity or remorse. And it absolutely will not stop. Not until you are dead.
Yeah.
So it's like when he puts that whole thing in perspective and then you see the way Schwarzenegger was the Terminator, it's like, oh, these fuckers are terrifying. Mm-hmm. Like you spend every waking moment of your life running from these things. Like no wonder Kyle Reese was the way he was. So like my whole thing is like, especially like when it comes to betraying of the government, and this is the thing that's really interesting to me in movies, because that shit can be fucking spot on or can be a complete fucking miss. Like I said before, look at the Transformers movies. Sector 7. Sector 7 to me was so fucking goofy. Like with the whole thing with Simmons and everything, and I get it, they were supposed to have a certain level of comic relief, But like, look at Man of Steel. The government's going to take an alien invasion just a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or even like Men in Black, like Will Smith was like, "Yo, did you forget that there's the alien battle cruiser that's hanging over the United States right now?" And Tommy Lee Jones' response is, "There's always some death threat, there's always some battle cruiser, there's always some war, and the way people get on with their happy little lives is the fact they don't know about it."
Yeah.
So
I bet there's a lot that we don't know about.
phenomenal shit we don't know about, because you got to remember, the number one thing is stability and control.
Yep.
So as long as people think that they are in control, they have. As long as the people think that they have some kind of stability, they're in control. You've seen The Mist, right?
Long, very long time ago.
Thomas Jane, he's stuck in the department store with his son. The mist rolls in the town. Creatures in the mist killing people.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have the one chick in the town who's really religious, talking about it's the end of times. You know, this is God's wrath, this, that, and the third.
Yep.
So he saw that shit coming a mile away. He goes, "Yo, this shit's going to go sideways. People are going to start lining up to listen to her sermons. Next thing you know, we're going to be sacrificing people to the mist. We got to get the fuck out of here." So she's like, so the one lady's like, "Yo, that's not true. People are more evolved than that. Human beings are more reasonable." He goes, "Yeah, we're reasonable because we can dial 911. We're reasonable because we could be punished for our actions." He goes, "You take away food, water, shelter. You stick us in the dark, and you tell us that there's something in the dark that's potentially worse than us. You're going to see human beings become uncivilized real quick."
Absolutely. That's 100%.
100%.
100% true.
And it's like, you know, that's one of the reasons, like, one of my favorite characters has always been the Joker. Like, are you a good person because you choose to be good? Are you a good person because you're really good? Or are you a good person because you can be reprimanded? Do you not do what you want because you know you can be punished for your actions?
No, absolutely. And I feel like that's, if we look at a lot of these films that we've been talking about, you know, and it's a lot of our own favorite films from back in the day that involve the government and lab coats as well. A lot of the time, like, this shit happens. Jurassic Park happens. Species happens. Give me another movie where it's humans playing God.
No.
Oh my gosh.
The Blob.
The Blob.
Any zombie virus movie.
Mimic.
Fuck that. The Fly. You know, all this shit happens because humans.
Earth versus the Spider. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I brought it back. You know, they are. It's because the government and lab coats, they do what they want because there's no reprimand. They're the highest air quote authority.
There's no consequences for their actions.
Exactly. So they do what they want. They will fuck with what they want. You know what I'm saying? You won't see the fucking janitor deciding, "Hey, let me mix bleach and ammonia." No, because he knows there's a consequence after. You know what I mean? But we got people in lab coats deciding, you know what? Let me take this dinosaur's DNA. Let me put it with this human's DNA. And then let me add in this fucking crocodile. Let me add in a little bit of sugar, spice, everything fucking horrible. And let's see what happens. Oh, you know what? Let's say it was somebody ate a bat.
Jesus. What are you trying to make over there?
And all this started because let's just say that all this shit started because somebody somewhere in some country that's on the east, on the other side of the world, ate a bat and got infected, and all this shit started. Let's say that. Yeah, but it's all because, like you said, there's no consequences. You know what I'm saying? They're able to, they just do what they want. That's so fucking solid. So fucking solid. You know what I mean? when it comes to species, there was nobody above them saying, yo, you shouldn't do this, or hey, if you do this, you're going to jail, you're going to prison. And
No,
so
there wasn't. Nope.
they just fucking did it. And like, I would say, how many people died? There was the train conductor. There was the train conductor. After the train conductor was the chick in the stall. Then it was the dude in the room, the dude in the pool.
I'd say at least a dozen people.
The chick,
Yeah.
the chick that she cut off her finger in the car crash. The doctor. I'm sorry. Yeah. The Doc Ock, and then Ben Kingsley. Yeah. So like seven people died. 7 people died because one man decided, hey, let's fuck around and find out. Another part of the cautionary tale of this film is don't fuck around and you won't find out. Right? Just leave it alone. If it's some shit that you don't know about, leave it the fuck alone. Hell, if you're an archaeologist, you're digging in the goddamn desert, you see some shit, and the person that knows how to read the writing on it says, no, this says there's a curse on it. Put it back. Put it the fuck back. If you can't read it, put it back. It shit look weird. Put it back. Leave it alone. This world would be in a much better place if people stopped fucking around. Because when they fuck around, everyone else got to find out. This prime point, Jurassic Park. Prime point, fucking Jurassic Park. That old white man that was with the white beard and shit, he fucked around. And everybody on that island, actually, if you want to go all the way down to the fucking Jurassic World movies, everyone in the world had to find out. Thousands of people dead.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Because one man decided, let's play God. And again, in the great words of Uncle Jeff Goldblum, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Now, just because you can shoot yourself in the foot doesn't mean you should shoot yourself in the foot.
Uncle Jeff Goldblum has a point.
Am I right or wrong? I don't know. I enjoy. I gotta say I have thoroughly been enjoying this month and this line of shows this month thus far.
It's been fun.
I've been able to go back, watch some old movies that I haven't watched in years. Hell, even watch some new movies that I actually haven't watched before. And like I said, I've never watched Mimic. I never watched Mimic, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch Mimic because we're talking about Mimic next, right?
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back and watch it. It's gonna be my first time watching it. And then what I said, the Blob. So we're going off like the old the Blob, right? Like the original like Blob, right?
Not the black and white one. I'm thinking more like the one from like the 80s.
So like 88, the Blob. Because we can go back to 58. We can go back to 58. We can go Steve McQueen's The Blob. That's the one in 88. So yeah, we can go 58 or 88. I honestly, bro, I might be the one. I might watch both. I might watch both just to just to do it, just to have some kind of just to be able to compare and contrast to both of them. And then what was it? Then we're doing Tremors.
Tremors.
Yeah.
Good old graboids.
Good old graboids.
Wait, let's establish which Tremors, like the original Tremors and only?
No, so I would say we can do the first three, because after that shit just gets weird.
That's okay. That's good.
Yeah, after that they just get weird, because if I'm not mistaken, like there's an actual timelines there's different timelines for Tremors. There's actually a whole canon shit for Tremors. It's like the only movies that are canon for Tremors are the ones with Kevin Bacon.
Agreed.
No, like it's actually like said. So it's like 1, 2, 3. So there's like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's like 7 of these shits.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I think they might be trying to do another one. But yeah, I think because like after 3, like I think like 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all like sci-fi level.
Yeah.
Like straight to DVD type movies. Yeah, like 4 was a direct to video movie. 5 was direct to Blu-ray DVD. And then like 6, A Cold Day in Hell, that was again straight to DVD. So like the only ones that were actually released in movies, I would say, yeah, but like all the way up to the 3rd one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where we I think we should kind of stay with that, because anything after that, the shit's just gonna get weird. But again, I like this because we get to go back, we get to watch old films, we get to talk about old films that were really, really awesome, and like go through all like and reminisce, and it kind of like brings us. I feel like also watching these also brings me back to the moment where I first watched these films. You know what I mean? The good old days. Have you guys ever watched Evolution?
Years ago.
Yeah, these films put me right in line with with movies like that. Like if I'm scrolling through and Evolution's on, which it's not, that shit's I've never not one time when I'm flicking through the channels have I ever fucking saw Evolution on TV. Maybe like on an on-demand channel, like that you got to pay for, but never. But no, like I feel like going back and watching these films brings me back to like a simpler time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that.
A lot of these films, were just like we're really kind of like different and a little bit, I'd say, like revolutionary for the time.
Oh, I would agree.
And I feel like that's a big part of what made them into like cult classics. Is because they did something different. They shook things up a little bit.
Yeah. Something that you had not seen before.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fresh. It was new. It was ideas that no one had thought of. So I think it's pretty cool, pretty damn cool. So far, we did what? Godzilla, Thing, Species. Godzilla, Thing, Species, mimic the Blob. Is there any honorable mentions that you guys want to throw in?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything at the moment.
I don't know. I just personally feel like this. Honestly, yeah. I didn't even. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the third. Let's talk about the third. Like, how does the third start off? Like, how does that come into play?
So the main issue was with the second one was because their whole thing is that Patrick's offspring is that they had to find them and kill them also. Well, because Patrick's offspring were half breeds, they were basically slowly decaying and dying. Because technically, no, yeah. So what happened is that Eve winds up mating with Patrick, so they actually give birth to an actual complete hybrid of human and alien DNA. So her issue was that she was going through the cycle, she was growing up, and her biggest thing was she was trying to find a mate. But she was attracted to all the other aliens who were revealed to be Patrick's children were attracted to her and thought if somehow they could incorporate her DNA into theirs, it would stop them from dying.
Oh.
Okay, so now it's like now they're all kind of like on the hunt for her.
Oh yeah.
So now she becomes the main character, like main character, and she's trying to pretty much like not get fucked.
In more ways than one.
So she's trying not to get fucked by her man's other kids.
Her man's other kids. Well, technically they're her siblings.
Oh.
That's
her daughter.
That's what makes it a little.
So Eve and Patrick's kid, they're trying to go after her.
No. Eve and Patrick have a kid. And the issue is that Patrick had other children, so they're trying to find the one that he had with Eve.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So his other kids are trying to find. God, what the fuck? Yeah, it just clicked to me. Wow, that's wild. Wow. They try to like take her DNA, like kill her and like eat her, take her DNA, or are they trying to?
So like the whole thing is that she winds up being found. What was her name? Sarah. She winds up being found by a doctor, and the doctor takes her in and basically studies her. And like the whole thing was, once again, for whatever reason, everyone's watching all this fuckery unfold.
Not doing anything about it.
Instead of trying to nip this shit in the butt.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on the other shit. Like her siblings. I just want to be clear. They're trying to do to her what I think they're trying to do to her in order to not die.
I don't know nothing about that.
Okay. We continue. We move on. And we move. Yeah, that's fucking wild. That's all the way out of pocket. Like these films are really sex or like orientated.
They were back in that day. They were. That was one of the biggest things about them, in my opinion.
Honestly, yeah. Like, but I also guess back in the 90s too, like sexualization and just like
it was much more open.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Which is weird because you think we're so, the world has become, well, at least America's become so air quote progressive.
Yeah. More civilized.
Yeah. Yet back then, it was like sex was more freely talked about in the 90s. You know what I mean? It was people were very open on that aspect. Like that, I don't know. That's it. Honestly, these films fit the time. Well, even then, because like two came out in like 2001. No. So the first one came out in 95. Second one came out in like 98, and the third one came out in 2001. No, 2004. Correction, 2004. Interesting. Very interesting. And like, oh, yep, and to keep the same actress. It's the same actress for all three films, except for the person who plays Sarah, their daughter. And that was another thing. Films back then, like nudity in films back then, were just okay.
Yeah, it was much more like accepted.
Yeah.
Well, but that's a big trope with American culture, and I think that's one of the issues that's not really talked about, because they use sex to sell everything, and then shame sexuality, which there's a very big difference between. They will tell you that about body positivity and show you the idea of what a male should look like topless, or what a female should look like in a bikini, but then they shame the naked body.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of those things, like, where I get that in certain cultures that nudity is a little bit more frowned upon, or it's one of those things like where your body should be for your partner, or like, you know, that aspect. But if you look at like ancient Rome, or look at certain figures and statues in Greek mythology,
even go back to Africa, ancient Africa, like that was like, even now, not even ancient, even now, there's still tribes that, you know, like the body is not to them, the body's not something to be ashamed of. It's natural. It's who you are. Because really, if you look at that, like that, a lot of that is a lot of like Western ideology.
and to me, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
but it's also one of those things like where, as Americans, I think we have to acknowledge the hypocrisy behind it.
Oh, heavy, absolutely heavy on that.
I agree.
Well, just in general, the Western civilization is a very hypocritical, has a lot of hypocritical foundations, fundamentals.
Like, here's a perfect example. Like we were talking about this whole thing. Like, you've seen Euphoria, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now,
great show. Can't wait for next season.
Now, once again, my issue with the show is that how that a lot of with, like, not even just that, there's a couple shows is that where it hypersexualizes teenagers, because at the end of the day, they were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, now don't get me wrong, I know what I was doing at 17 years old.
Same.
So I can only imagine what the modern day kid is doing. Yeah. But it's one of those things like, where is that truly the case, or is that the self-perpetuated image that people are trying to live up to?
Oh,
so it's like, chastity to me is something that should have a lot more value, and it doesn't anymore. Everyone's also quick to lose their virginity and start having sex and not be mindful of who it is they're sleeping with in the first place. Mm-hmm. I mean, 9 times out of 10, most people don't want to wind up with the person they lost their virginity to anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
And then most people also regret the person that took their virginity also.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So, and I think like that's not necessarily talked about enough. And that's one of those things like where when you look at certain shows that glorify that type of behavior, like I look at Euphoria, I look at 13 Reasons Why, I'd be like, yo, where the fuck are the adults when this shit's going on, man?
Right. But here's the thing that I find interesting about Species, because if you take that concept of chastity, like you said, and relate it to this film, like she was very, she really made sure that she had to choose the right partner, the person to, to reproduce with, because that, genetically, that child would have whatever defects are that the partner has are likely to carry, are hereditary, or if they're hereditary, they're likely to carry down into, the child. Her goal was to create the best, the best species. So she was selective. It was what's the word? Selective breeding.
Selective breeding, yeah.
Yep, selective breeding. That's what they do with horses to make, what do they call horses? Fucking like really really high end horses that have like the best like fucking DNA and shit. Thoroughbreds.
Yes.
Yeah, thoroughbreds, because they are thoroughly bred, to be the best possible, genetic version of their species. You know what I mean? And then maybe, honestly, maybe that's what our issue is. That's what humans' issue is. We just, poking and getting poked by every damn thing, that walks as part of the species, instead of thinking about, maybe I shouldn't. But no, like, I find that really interesting, because even though she doesn't, like, she's an alien, she has no clue about humans and whatever, blah blah blah. Just innate being, her innate instinct is to pick and choose who it is that, she reproduces with. You know what I mean? And I find that really, really cool. And that's another thing I was just really like astonished by with this, because literally she's like going through many stages of, pretty much very rapidly stages of puberty. And she's like, she's dealing with, she's worried. She, at one point, she's, looking at the way she looks, she's looking at the way she talks, the way she dresses. She looks at the other girl and realizes, oh, all these men want her because she's barely wearing clothes. So what does she do? After she murks the chick in the bathroom, she takes her top off and walks through the bar. Because to her, okay, so that's how you get a man here on Earth. So that's what I'm gonna do, because that's what I want. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Huh.
You see what I'm saying?
Crazy.
It's so rapid that, she's going through, in a way, body dysmorphia. She's going through, like, a kind of peer pressure in order to assimilate, to be alike the others, all the way down to, when, we hit puberty, we all essentially go into, like, the human form of heat. You know what I mean? We want to, like, smash every damn thing that we find attractive. And so that's what it was for her. But then she's like, and I think in the end, that's what her downfall was. She wanted Preston. Right? She wanted Preston. And I think because of her human side, like you said earlier, Jay, felt some kind of connection to him.
Yeah.
On a human level. And so she's like, well, my human side says I like him, and my alien side says I need to have a baby, so I let it be him. And in the end, she gave into her alien side and settled for a dude that literally was just trying to get laid the whole damn time. Literally was just trying to get laid the whole damn time.
Listen, man, beggars can't be choosers. Sometimes, when fate throws you a curveball.
But see, that's how you end up with your dick getting cut off, or your wallet stolen. That's exactly how it happens. That moment you're sitting there like, fuck it. That fuck it moment gets you fucked up. I've had plenty of situations where I'm like, fuck it. And then I was like, you know what? After the fact, post nut clarity, yeah, I probably shouldn't have. We've all had those moments of just, you know what? Probably not the best idea. Probably shouldn't have.
Hey, I mean, I think we've all had those.
Yeah, I don't hear an agreement from you over there, Triage.
What you talking about?
You never had a moment where you're like, I probably shouldn't have. That post-nut clarity kick in, you're like, I probably shouldn't have. No? Okay, then. All right. Okay. All right. Never mind then. He's proud of every conquest. All right. But that's another, like I said, that was just something I really found interesting about this film. You know what I mean? One, its take on, sexuality, on the the concept and ideology of a species. Just their only drive is their most primal instinct is to grow. And then, with the introduction of the human DNA, like that's our primal instinct, is to, as a species, is to continue.
Yeah.
Right. But then it goes into like, all right, so where does the defect come in when you add human DNA to a otherwise perfect species? Right? Is it the alien DNA that provides the defect, or is it the human DNA that provides the defect? You see what I'm saying?
It's both.
But even then, they said that they took the embryo, or even then the eggs from a human female. That's how they literally took the female egg and injected it with the alien DNA to fertilize the egg. Did he even look at the female's genetics, like her DNA and stuff like that? Did he even look at any of that? You know what I mean? Because that could have also provided further defects as well with the specimen. They're looking at it from as on a scientific end. Looking at it from a scientific end. But yeah. So when it comes to like the Species films 1, 2, and 3, like I said, I'm pretty sure none of us have watched Reawaken. Which I'm interested. Now I think I will go back. I'll finish the franchise out. I'll watch Awaken and see how different that fourth one is compared to this one, and if it's like an actual budget film or if it's just like a sci-fi original kind of film. Because back in the day, sci-fi, they used to, old sci-fi franchises that maybe like that kind of have maybe died out. The Sci-Fi Channel would buy the rights to them and make their own film of that name to continue that franchise, and it'd just be absolutely dreadful.
I never understood the concept of Sharknado.
That was the point.
I don't get it.
See, after I feel like Sci-Fi Channel at some point they started to realize that they rarely had a good film. Sci-Fi Channel came out with some good, sci-fi original movies. They came out with some good shit. A few of them. There was a few that were actually really, really damn good. But I think they eventually realized, you know what, a lot of their films are better off as B movies, and so they started investing in, intentionally making B movies.
Yeah,
because I'm sorry, I've watched quite a few B movies that honestly, they were so bad that they were good that I thoroughly enjoyed myself watching them.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah, like back in the day when I was younger, I've
never seen a movie like that.
Yeah, me and my boys used to get together. We'd grab some liquor, grab some herbage, and we'd sit, smoke, drink, and watch horrible B movies and just have a good time just laughing our asses off. Majority of those B movies were Steven Seagal films.
Well, that depends. What do you consider a B movie?
So B movies are films that are just low budget films. You know what I mean? Something that's a direct to DVD No theatrical release. And again, we actually ran into a few of them that were actually good.
Well, that's a thing, because I mean, certain people's movies are like that. Look at Michael J. White's movies.
Oh, you're talking about his blaxploitation kind of movies?
Nah,
Like,
look at
Dynamite shit.
no, look at
Oh, Blood and
Undisputed
Bone.
2, Last Man Standing. Look at Blood and Bone.
Was it Raging Phoenix? Was that one of them too, or something like that?
I think it was Rising Phoenix, but
Rising
yeah,
Phoenix.
there's another one like
Yeah.
Scott Speedsman, not Scott Speedsman, Scott Atkins.
Yep.
His shit's like some cats. That's where they thrive. I don't look at Donnie Yen as It Man. Were those ever in the movie theaters?
Yeah.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
I don't remember them shits being in the movie theater.
Yeah. Yep. The It Man movies were in theaters. They didn't do really well because they were released in and they're a foreign film. All the It Man movies are foreign films. When they get brought over here, they're dubbed. And it was pretty interesting because when it came to It Man 3 with Mike Tyson, it was pretty funny because it was all in Chinese except for Mike Tyson's parts. So in Asia they had to dub Mike Tyson's voice.
That's funny.
With Asian dub.
That's hilarious.
And then over here they had to dub everyone else's voice English. You just muted, Jay.
Yeah, I was blowing my nose.
Okay, I gotcha. But yeah, so there's been a lot of B movies that are actually been pretty good. There's low budget films, even I think Michael J. White also did Never Back Down 2.
He did.
Yeah, that was actually kind of good too. Even though the first one was a theater release. Which I can never say my guy's name. The black dude, African dude, never can say his name.
I know of who you speak.
Yes. It kills me that I don't know his name because he's a fucking phenomenal actor.
Which movie?
I love all his work. Never Back Down.
Oh, I know. Okay. Yeah.
He's also in Blood Diamond. He played I forget the character's name in Guardians of the Galaxy. It was like Revan or something like that. Revan. Sorry about the R.
Yeah.
But he worked for Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah. He's also the wizard in Captain Marvel.
Oh,
Captain Marvel.
Damn. Yes, he is.
I mean, you were right, but wrong at the same time. Like, it's weird. You could be right and wrong when you say that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, he was a wizard named Shazam. Essentially, that's pretty much what they end up calling him. But yeah, and that so I'm hoping that like I go to watch Reawakening and it's not one of those B movies that are just bad, bad. You know what I mean? Unlike movies like Sharknado that were made intentionally to be bad. They used the tropes of a B movie. You know what I mean? Now these motherfuckers are all on fucking 8. Getting theatrical releases. What fucking 8 films? And I think one was like the 3-headed Sharknado or some shit like that. It's fucking hilarious.
Jesus.
Madness.
Sharknadoes, 3-headed madness. Fucking madness. Fucking madness. But you know what? That's the magic though. That's the magic. Like I watched this one B movie called Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
Oh my god.
Fucking masterpiece. It is so bad that it's good. It is absolutely hilarious. Bro, it's so bad that it's good that when I first watched it, it was free on Amazon Prime. When I went to show somebody the film, they're like, you got to pay for this now. Because it caught so much like attention and people were rating it so good that they're like, all right, now you got to pay for it.
Wow.
Yeah. Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. I highly recommend it to anybody, all my potheads out there. Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. I swear to God. It'll make you look at ice cream differently.
Okay.
But all right, so what are your guys' overall thoughts on the Species franchise?
I think it was something that was ahead of its time. I think that it was something that had great potential. I think that if I don't want to say if it continued, if they requeled it like they did like with Candyman and tied the old movie together with something that's more modern day, I think it would be real interesting, but I'm not sure how that would look. Because if you look at the Alien franchise, like you know that the government is aware of the xenomorphs and that they're terrified of them, and that the Weyland-Yutani Corporation is always trying to weaponize them. That's their whole goal.
Holy shit! Whoa! That just blew me away. I stopped keeping up with the Alien and the Predator films after Requiem. No. At AVP. After Alien vs. Predator, I stopped. I tried to pick up the Prometheus films, but the second was a Prometheus 2. It was a Prometheus, and yeah, they did Prometheus 2, right?
So there's Prometheus, there's Covenant, and then there's Romulus.
Yep.
Romulus was the one that came out last year.
Yeah. And that one, for everything I'm hearing from it was really good.
They're all actually very good. It's just that you have to be a fan of that franchise.
Yeah. I mean, they're good movies, but if you're not a fan, you're not gonna enjoy it.
Because there's also a lot. There's like, and that's what I liked about Prometheus. Like, it really Prometheus really starts with people diving into the lore of Alien, and then when it comes to the connection between aliens and predators were pretty much using as xenomorphs to fucking train their younglings. Yes.
So it gets explained that the aliens, the xenomorphs, are actually created and modified by a Weyland-Yutani automaton.
Yeah,
Yep.
Which is crazy.
What was his name? Wes or something.
It was I want to say it was David.
And then there was another version of him in Covenant.
Yeah, that was Walter. So it was supposed to be that
David and Walter.
Yep. So technically, Yutani. So the Weyland-Yutani Corporation is indirectly responsible for creating the xenomorphs in the first place. So their whole goal was to catch them and study them because they wanted to use them as weapons. Because they figured if they could train them and teach and control them, that their potential for government work would be unprecedented. But every time they think they have one, shit goes sideways.
Yeah, you would think after the third, at least this, I would say the second to third time shit went sideways. You would think, like first time's all right. We don't really know a lot about the creatures, so it makes sense that we fucked up. Second time, you think, all right, we still probably didn't know enough about these creatures to control them, But I would think common sense after the second time, I don't think we should fuck with this. Like, maybe go for a third try, and then after that third try, you would think, all right, now we really need to stop fucking with these creatures. We can't do it. But to keep fucking with them after the third time, madness. Actually, in the words of Albert, if it was Albert Einstein saying it, that would be considered insanity. Trying the same shit over and over and over, inspecting different results.
Yes. So, I think if they did it from that aspect, there could be some potential. But Pre said it best. Preston said it best. It's you guys want to create these things and hope that they don't make. If you guys want to create these things and hope that they don't fuck the human world out of existence, by all means.
That's
that won't ever happen,
right?
Yeah, because in the words of Uncle Goldblum, life finds a way.
Yes.
Life will find a way. It's called evolution, adaptation. Even if they try to pull a Jurassic Park with these species and genetically engineer them to the point where they cannot reproduce, evolution and adaptation, they will eventually find a way to reproduce, either asexually or sexually.
That happens in the third or fourth one, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah. Shit. And then there's yeah, I think it's asexually, where the creature is both male and female and can reproduce with itself. I think that's asexually.
Yes, that's asexual.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I don't know. I like that idea. If they were to try to, like I said, requel it, I think Aliens did it best. And I think Candyman is a nice second. It's a really, really close second, almost first with the requel it. I think what they would have to do if they wanted to do it, they would have to, I would think they should take the Alien route of it. Is if they're going to requel it, start way, 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 way back before the events of the first film even occurred, and then make films leading up to modern day. You know what I mean? Clearly, we all know it's all right. Well, in this moment in time, this happens. The first three films still have their place within that timeline, but just be like, all right, well, this is what led up to happen to there. This is what led up to happen to here. This is what led up to happen to there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure how that would work in that context, because I think because they were set so far back, because the original one takes place in the 90s, and they said that they sent the message into space in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the thing, that this the race is probably, so it was also probably really advanced. So let's start it from the other species, like, what triggered the species to want to, send their DNA out to another world. You know what I mean? Was there, maybe they could have been a situation where, like, they were on the verge of extinction.
Well, no, that would make sense, but I'm saying, like, I don't think that movie would work visually, because we'd have to show the 70s in modern time. And I think a lot of times, like, when they do that, especially with movies that have a sci-fi or like a supernatural or like a horror aspect to them, that's why they don't necessarily work. Like, if you look at the new Salem's Lot, like that was set in a very, what'd you say?
I haven't watched that. I haven't watched the new one yet.
Yeah, so if you watch the new Salem's Lot, it was set, like, you would have thought that movie was set in like the 80s, but it doesn't have that feel to it. It looks that way, but it doesn't have that feel to it. Like, if you watch the new It.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good example.
Yeah, that's a yeah, I see where you're going with that one. So how about, why don't they have it as if, like, all right, so it starts off where we see the first film in this requel of species is, we see, like I said, from the aliens' point of view, what's going on their planet, and pretty much whatever events happen, whatever. And then we end up at the end of it, we see them receive the signal from Earth, and then we see them send the signal from Earth, from their planet, send it back, and then the next movie, it's in modern time, right? And then we get that quick recap of everything that happened prior to that, and then it starts a whole new chain of events. You know what I mean? Maybe they find out more information about this species, but then you got to get into science. All right, well, because, like, what was it? They said they sent it in the 60s, and they ended up receiving it in the 80s, right? Or like 90 or something like that.
I want to say they sent it in the 70s and heard back in the early 90s.
Yeah, so that's
that sounds
like
right.
20 years. So you have to think about, like, when you're thinking about space and the way things travel through space, you got to think about light years. So for them to send something and then receive something back only 20 years later, wherever they're receiving it from is really fucking close.
It is, yeah, it would have to be.
The way shit travels through space from planet to planet, that's light years. What I'm pretty sure from here to the moon is like what they said it takes a year or something like that.
No, for light to travel to the moon?
No, just from us to travel.
Oh, for us to the moon takes about 3 days.
Travel from us to actually get on the moon 3 days?
Yeah.
Once again, Jay, you and your fucking facts.
Again. So yeah, so from here to Mars, from Earth to Mars is 7
9
8
days.
months.
No, 9 months. I don't know.
No, see, I don't trust you no more, man. I don't trust. I think you're just throwing shit out there now and got us thinking oh, this motherfucker really knows his shit.
No, I'm pretty sure it takes 9 months to get to Mars.
Yeah, this is 7 to 8 months. Over, it's over, but round trip is over a year from there and back is over a year. But but also they never said what form they got the information in.
That's also true.
So that you know what I mean. So that's I don't know. The point is wherever they receive the data from or the transmission from had to be really close in order for it to only take what is it, 20 years?
It's really not a lot of time.
Yeah, in retrospect, and overall, it's not a lot of time at all. So I think that would be really interesting because now they're like, all right, well, what happened to this species? Why is it that they felt like they needed to send out their DNA? Why did they feel like they needed to continue their species or procreation? And you know what I mean? I think they can really, if they really sat down and thought about it, I think they can make a decent film to continue. I don't think they'll be able to do a third. I don't think they will be able to continue a massive franchise with it. But I think I think 2 films. I think they could probably get 2 films out of a requel for it. I think after that, the shit would just get too funky. If not, we don't already be funky already.
We don't want a whole Halloween scenario with this shit.
We don't. Please no. It was good. While you had it, then you fucked it up because you kept going. Also, too many cooks in the kitchen when it came to that. Too many damn cooks in the kitchen. Well, let's let this person try to make a movie. Let's let this person try to make a movie. No. You start it, you finish it. But no, yeah. For me, I agree with you, Triage. I feel like this is for its time. This film was kind of really different. It was really out there. The CGI for its time was a little further advanced as well. It was ahead of its time. It was a very straightforward film too. It was a very straightforward film, and that's what I like too. It was boom, starts off, boom. This is the problem. Boom. This is how we solve the problem. The rest of the film is strictly solving the problem. There's no detours of, oh man, we got to regroup. We got to figure this out. But no, it was straight through. So trying to solve the problem. There was no extra extended drama. No other thrilling Deus Ex Machinas. There's no Ex Machinas that come into play. It's strictly just story, and that's what I like. I like a film that is very to the point. This is the story that I'm trying to tell, and this is the story that you're watching. So I thoroughly enjoy it, and again, it brings me back to a simpler time. Like I said, I still have the VHS to this day. It came out in 95. It is 25.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But no, Jay, what about you?
Well, I agree. I think that for when this movie came out, I think it was quite ahead of its time for the thinking, like the mentality behind it.
Mm-hmm.
No other movie before this came out, no other movie, was like this before. Especially thinking on the lines of like reproduction and sexualization of like a different species of alien, and it was just a very different take. And I think if they tried to make not an exact film, but if they tried to make like a film's, having to do with those aspects today, I don't think that people would really like not accept it, but understand it.
Yeah, I honestly no. I think you might be right. Would be with the not accept part because of the current climate of at least the climate of America.
Yes,
It wouldn't be accepted because of
because
this
we're
the core.
just we're very much forward, much more forward in our thinking.
Many I wouldn't say forward in thinking. I would say just like honestly, if anything, stuck in our ways in a way. It's weird. Forward thinking but stuck in our ways. It's a strange it's a strange time in America. So if we were to make a film about a different species that is here on Earth to procreate, and like we saw with the dude that was a diabetic and her rejecting him, we would, and if it was to take place nowadays, we'd see a lot more people being rejected in the film,
I agree.
and
Yeah.
it was a lot more people being rejected. If they wanted to make it like, you know what I mean, relatable, we would be seeing a lot more people rejected, and then we'd see a lot of backlash because of the reasons of some people being rejected. I'm not gonna go any further than that, but it would be. I don't think it wouldn't go over. It wouldn't go over these days.
No, it really wouldn't.
Yeah, they would have to. I feel like they would have to do too many twists and turns and alter the original like thinking and concept of the creature, and it would just no longer be like, species. It would no longer have the same feel, that same identity as the
Yeah.
originals.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love them. I think the film is absolutely amazing, and it was nice to sit back and go back and rewatch it. But yeah, next week, Mimic. Again, I've never watched it, so it's gonna be fun for me. I've never watched it before. Again, I recommend you guys watching Decoy or Decoys. It's a pretty good film. It's along the lines of Species as well. I think it pulls a lot of inspiration from Species. And then the plot twist at the end is pretty cool. It has a decent plot twist at the end. Yeah,
Okay.
but no, man, this has been another amazing episode of the Super Breakdown. I'm Power Maximus. We're here with everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, and the one, the only Darth Legacy himself, Jason M40. And I just realized I didn't do that at the beginning of the show. But yeah, that's who we are. If you don't know, now you know. Bitches and bitchettes. All right, now until next time, next week, tune in. We will be going over the Mimic or Mimics, or again, I don't know. I got to watch the book. I got to see. All right, y'all. But definitely peace, love, happiness, and as always, remember, fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Da-da-da-da-da.